I saw this video and I'm quite impressed by what the young man is doing in Uganda. I would like to share more view on this, but before I continue, I would want you to watch the video. So watch the video and I'm going to say one or two things.
A man should not go on admiring other countries and wanting to become a citizen of other countries. That's a weak man. A weak man runs away from problems. You stay in problems and solve the problems. Comprende? How many of you, if your family is so imperfect, you run away from your family? Do you run away from your family? What do you do? Raise up your hand. What do you do? What does a strong man do? Yes, Godwin.
We fight the problems.
You fight the problems. You stay.
You see, as a young man, I have been saddled, troubled about the problem in Africa. And I studied the history as much as I can to understand why is it that anywhere I find my people in the continent of Africa, there is a prevailing suffering within those communities. Is it that we caused by the gods, or we caused ourselves? Or is it because we don't have nothing to live off of? But I come to realize that the problem of Africa is squarely that of ignorance and a pattern of programming. We have been programmed, conditioned to believe that we are weak people and we cannot build for ourselves anything worthwhile or lift ourselves out of poverty. Yet God endowed us with all the natural resources you can think of that can change and transform any society. What we need right now are people who are going to help the younger generation of Africa to articulate the problem at hand, so that in the future, whatever has been a hurdle will let us go and we create a system that everything will work in harmony. What this young man is doing is what I call classical conditioning in psychology. Deprogramming the younger generation from already existing faulty mentality that they come to head for a very long time, believing that we cannot build on nothing. If you ask an average Uganda, Nigerian, Burundi, Rwanda, Congo man in Namibia, any one of them you ask what's the problem in the system, they said the system has collapsed. The politicians has collapsed the system. He said, can it be built? He said, it can never be built. He said, what next can you do? He said, if I can find a visa and find myself in Europe or Asia, then God has blessed me. It is very funny. You are living in a land that is worth $1 trillion, yet you want to go to a land that is worth $1 billion. Is something wrong with you psychologically? What is it that you don't have in the continent of Africa? There is nothing that you need to build Africa. That is not in Africa. The problem is fear. We are suffering from phobia. If you read Plato, the allegory of cave, we are afraid, as Joseph Campbell will say, that the cave that you are afraid to enter carries the treasure that you are seeking. African people are very fearful to look themselves in the mirror and say, we can do this. They want to run away from responsibility. What is that responsibility? That we have to work off our ass to build Africa. We would rather die than work. We go to Europe, the same works that we refuse to do in Africa, we go to Europe, we do it. With joy, with happiness. Now we are in Europe, we are cursing the continent of Africa. That country is cursed. That one is destroyed. That one is this and that. That's all of verbal abuse. There is power in our tongue. Everybody is raining curse on their country. What you should be doing is articulating the problem of the country to provide a solution. Yet this young man have not properly articulated the entire thing. But whatever you are doing from anywhere you are, I commend you, as long as you are deprogramming the younger generation of Africa for a new beginning of Africa in the future. Right now, he's doing a program, a mentorship for the younger generation of Africa, basically the boys. But he doesn't understand that he wouldn't do it that way. Integrate the and the young boys, deprogram all of them together. Don't allow you ladies to sit back. All of them must understand that they are the people who are going to live this society. We now live in a world where almost men and women are on equal intellectual capacity to do anything. Whatever a man can do, any woman can do it today. In other words, you need to deprogram all of them. They are the people that are going to build this continent of Africa. It's not just one-sided. One of the highest articulate that the young man should address approach is the articulating of developing the brain. Help them to read books on physics, chemistry, economics. Right now that they are kids, Allow them to develop the highest level of understanding. Read books that you believe that were made for people to read in PhD class. Right there for them. Those people that are doing doctorate degree to become a professor, read it right there for them. Let them articulate the whole thing. It is through learning that men become wise. If they understand the whole thing at this age, they are 12, they are 13, they are 11, they are 5. By the time they are 35, by the time they are 50s, they have acquired all the political position in Africa. It will be easy for them to initiate policies that is going to transform the economy of the system and help their people, lift their people away from poverty and penury that we have been for too long. We complain every day and night. Nobody's doing anything. I say to you guys, forget about the old folks. Focus on the younger generation. Because what happened to the old folks were wrong programming. They had a wrong program. There is no way you can change it at that age. What you can do now is to focus on the young people. Because it is easier to build the young people than to build a broken man, as says James Baldwin. We can't go back to build someone who is 50 years or 60 years, 70 years, who all his mentality is about how do I acquire money? How do I secure this territory? How do I become an emperor that doesn't allow another person to excel but only myself? You can't change that mentality again. They have grown beyond the time you can change mentality. But if you are able to give these people the understanding on how to live together with their brothers and sisters in the society of Africa, everything would change. Where they are not out there to pile up billions of dollars in their account or siphon money from the treasury account to Switzerland or UK or America, but to use this money to invest here by building the brain of our people. Yet African people receive a lot of aid from Europe, billions of dollars. Yet African people siphon billions of dollars to return it back to Europe. What does that mean? Wrong programming. It doesn't mean that those leaders are bad. They don't know what they are doing. Ignorant people don't know what they are doing. And what do you do to ignorant people? You give them the right knowledge. The knowledge that has been given to Africa is a knowledge that incapacitates people. Knowledge of white-collar job. It is a knowledge that incapacitates the inventiveness of the spirit of a man. It does not allow to exercise the genius of a man. These are the young people that host the future of Africa. Invest in them the right thoughts and the right critical thinking analysis so that they will go out there to explore all the facets of Africa and use whatever God has gifted African people to build Africa. Nobody is coming to do that for us in the continent of Africa. And I'm saying this, and I'm saying it very clear. If you wake up right now, wherever you are, whether in Nigeria, Burundi, Rwanda, Congo, Mali, Botswana, Egypt, Czech Republic, Namibia, Cameroon, anywhere you are, start trying your best to deprogram younger generation of Africa. And make sure you study, because a leader is a reader. The more you read, the more you decolonize yourself. The more you read, the more you stand a chance to stand your own ground and develop your own philosophy and use it to help your people. Everything we do in Africa, we must adopt from Europe. Your brothers and sisters running away from Africa, going to Europe, building Europe, your people back home are dying in hunger. Why God has given you all it takes to build Africa. You said they are sabotaging us. They are sabotaging you because you are ignorant. They are not forcing you. They force you, fight back. Either we all die here. Read history. You see that every man, every society that obtained their freedom fought tirelessly to whoever tried to enslave them. We all die and we fight until the last man standing in Africa dies off. When we arise to that mentality, no anybody in this world will come to trample and walk on our mind or do whatever they like. Believe that. If anybody comes in and say they are going to situate your military base in Africa, you tell them no, return it back. We have our own military forces that are going to be situated across the continent of Africa. If they say no, you fight back by all means necessary. You don't sit back and watch them do whatever they like. Don't tell me no that reason. Whatever they are, you are. If they are powerful, you are powerful. If they are militarily trained, you are militarily trained. If they are intelligent, you are intelligent. If they have education, you have education. If they have strength, you have strength. If they have philosophy, you have philosophy. If they have custom norms and culture, you do have them too. Don't allow anybody to force you their own mentality. Accept is the one that you know is superior to yours. Accept it, edit it, and join it to yours. You don't swallow everything. This is what we need to deprogram our younger generation of Africa for. I want Africa that the moment they are stepping out of school, as a matter of fact, while they are in the engineering department in their second year, third year, they are able to build things that transform society. School is not a place where you go to graduate, and no, university is where you go to learn how to think and research. By your research, you are discovering things in the university. This is the future of Africa. And when we articulate this, the whole system would have changed. Go right there and start deprogramming younger generation of Africa. Give them book, take away videos, take away all type of nonsense, rubbish, movies away from their hand. Give them books to read. Or if they are not good with reading, those who are good with visual, then give them podcasts of education to learn. You can't spend your time looking for pleasure when you haven't built. Now you will try to retain or gain the pleasure like the people who have spent all the thousands of years building. You can't do that. You've not built no nothing. So why do you watch movie 24/7? That's not a well-healthy lifestyle to live in a society that is still struggling. And you know that most of our hard work is dumb, irrelevant hard work. Where we till ground, we should be tilling the brain. Where we always hawk in the street, we'll be hawking the brain. Sit back in the laboratory, sit back in the library. That is where things changes. Every time all left and right of African country is begging and begging, helping and helping. I'm tired of that. You can't be helping a man whose father is a king. I don't understand that concept. If anybody should be helping anybody in the world, it's African people helping other people in the world. Why could God have given you all the natural resources that the whole world is feeding on, yet you are the one that is suffering? The best brains who should be transforming that resource into something usable are out of Africa because we are wrongly programmed. We need leaders that will help us to articulate this concept and help us so well that we can inculcate this understanding to the younger generation of Africa. Those behind us, as this young man is doing. That is what we need. We are tired of complaining, whining, groaning, pointing, accusing finger to one another, not doing what is necessary in the system. Nobody is ready to change the continent of Africa. If you don't know, there's no time in the history that the European is going to come here or the Asians are coming here to change Africa. They are coming here for their own economic benefit. Yes, you might receive a benefit, but they will never change it. If anybody is going to change Africa, is the African indigents. Nobody else. Build a system, go to Europe, bring back your brothers and sisters that are highly articulate and let them help you build the system. Don't sit around. All those people that are being extracted every day from Africa with HBO and visa should be returned back. If they are paid 2 times, pay them 3 times. Don't tell me that we don't have the money. We have the money. We have the resources. Put the brain in at work. We are tired of all of these things. And if we do it, there is nothing in the continent of Africa that we cannot change. I'm tired of complaint. What I'm ready to hear is this is the solution. When these young men grow up, they will not become a gang of complaints. They will become solution provider because they have been rightly raised, deprogrammed early on in life. They will think if there's a problem here, I'm going to find solution. My people are dying, I'm going to find a solution. There is no easy way for transport, I'm going to find solution. Whatever situation, I will sit back here in Africa and find solution. I'm not running away. When that mentality dawns into the psyche of the younger generation of Africa, there's nothing else you have but excellence situation. Look at the countries of Africa. God said, I have given milk and honey, yet we living in it don't know that there's something called milk and honey in our continent. We are going out looking for milk and honey. They program the younger generation of Africa. Let's see if we will not become what other people think we cannot become. Go right now and share this video with your family and friends. And don't forget that I remain Captain Africa. Ad Astra.